What's up, YouTube? This is your girl Flye Books, and today I'm sitting down with author Shaka Jasper, and he is the author of the book Sovereign Nation, Child of the ReSoulution. Tell us a little something about yourself.
I am a Floridian, born and raised.
Okay.
I was raised in the Muck, also known as Belleville. Zora Neale Hurston wrote about that.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There I was watching. Actually, when I first came to college, I didn't know about that book or about the story. I always knew about the hurricane that we had and the flood that came along behind it, because it's right there in our city. It's a statue and everything about the flood.
Right.
But when she actually created the story that kind of wrapped around the area and how it was a migrant society. So I wanted to be able to pretty much write something that spoke to our language. And Zora Neale Hurston, she kind of got during the Harlem Renaissance, she got a bad, I guess, grade from the rest of the authors during that time period. Cause like they were trying to get beyond where we were as a people, but she wanted to hold on to some of the things that were traditionally ours.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I wanted to do as well. I wanted to hold on to what was traditionally ours, and so that way you can have more of a feel of you being home.
Who influenced you to start writing and getting interested in that?
My actually, I think it was just really been in my soul for a long period as far as writing.
Right.
But
did you write when you were younger?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you do a lot of reading?
Well, you know what I did? I used to write a lot of just thoughts, and never really saved any of them a lot, whatever, until I actually got to high school.
Okay.
And we had a computer class, a typing class, and my teacher at the time, Ms. Granville, she told me, she said, "Well, Jasper, just start typing out and just keeping your thoughts, and because that's how I actually learned how to type, just from using my own poems, so to say, but in better words, just thoughts. But using those things to be able to help me with my typing, and it's kind of just started from there with me keeping things and keeping up with my writing and different things. So I thank Ms. Granville a lot.
Thank you, Ms. Granville. Let's start with Sovereign Nation.
Yeah, Sovereign Nation is basically, that's the title for the series.
Okay.
Every book would be a Sovereign Nation book. But with the subtitles changing.
I see.
So it'll be because it's telling the story of how the nation in which is being built within the book and everything else, how it already exists. It's already there. You know, they just don't have a creed that they're living by yet. They just don't have those things in which that makes us a whole. So he's establishing, right now he's establishing that creed, and anything about a creed, you're gonna start within your soul. So with him, he was the child of the ReSoulution, bringing back the soul. He had soul food. He had everything soul music. Who's making soul music right now? So with him, you got that neo-soul movement, and he is the epitome of the neo-soul movement within the community. He is the child of that resolution from of that community that came before him. And there are plenty of other jurists that are out there, and Ermines and Shaylas that are out there. He just has to be the one to connect. We say, how you came up with jurists, that character. He's pretty much that cross in between that Malcolm and that Martin.
And that Martin, exactly. That's how how I saw him.
He's that cross in between them. He's that person that's learning to grow into that leader, that new blueprint for African Americans, because their blueprint was so different. They were fighting for equality in the sense of stop beating us.
Exactly.
Let us have our own. Let us grow.
Yes.
And Juris Powder is much different because he's not fighting fire hydrants and being sprayed with the water and police dogs being shot, being sick on you and being beat and crosses being burned in your yard. He's not fighting that battle that his father done fought. He's fighting the battle for his new generation.
How do you feel that what was going on in the 50s relates to present day and what's going on now?
I guess that'll go back to who I am. I grew up in Belglade and I love my city. We've gone through a lot of turmoil, but I love my city. I often refer to it as the last plantation in the nation.
Wow, why would you say that? Because I don't know much about Belglade.
But Belglade is an agricultural town. Sugar fields and beans and corn and those things. Our actual city motto is her soil is her fortune.
I see.
And we, as we know, the field where we was actually brought here and to be able to work in the field. When you think about Florida, you think about the South and how traditionally it was for Jim Crow laws to still be utilized in the South more so than in the North. And by us being an agricultural migrant society that held true, even though I was born in the 70s, the same types of Jim Crowism, the same type of work in the fields and getting up in the morning at 4:30 to go catch a bus to go and work in the fields and try to find some employment. That migrant society still existed.
Jurors focus really on the incarcerated. You know, that was one of his
reclamation program.
Yeah, that was his big push. You know, it was a big push. Is there a reason that you particularly focused on that in the book, or?
I did do that because that's an area in which you could really see the change of oppression, of dysfunctionality. You can see emotional hurt. You can see all those things in a prison because a person got in prison don't know how to make a choice to go to prison. I'm quite sure everybody's in a lie at some point and try to not be in prison. So it's not a place where that they particularly want to be. So I want to be able to utilize those things because there are situations. You look at Ermine's situation and how he came to be there. Ermine did not deserve to be there. Even if he had did what he did. Did he really deserve to be there? All he really wanted to do is protect his mom and make sure that his mom was no longer being harmed, and there was no other way that he saw that could change. That was a situation that his mother put him in. She put herself in, and that's what I was saying about how relationships with parents and they get into these other relationships with other guys, how that can be transferred onto the kids, whether it be male or female, but how it can be transferred onto the kids and how the kid's supposed to, he's a boy and he's like, I'm supposed to protect my mom, but at what point in which it becomes that breaking point, and pretty much is that first point in which the abuse and first initiates. So I want to be able to show that there are people that are locked up right now that are really great people. If given the opportunity, given in a different circumstance, like trading places. With Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, if given that opportunity to trade that place. How much better of a person could he have been if he was placed in a positive environment with a dad, with a mom, with a family that was growing up, he going to Ivy League school, and that's why I use Ermine in that state to be able to show also to America that his situation transcends skin. It isn't just about the skin, it's about that soul of that person that's living in that relationship with his family.
That's right, because it's all kind of colors, whose parents are abusive and whose mom is getting beaten. It's not just black, it's not just white. It's all the whole spectrum. That's something that transcends everything.
It's everybody. So And so dealing with him dealing with that aspect of his life, I wanted to be able to utilize the prison system as a mode of change. How far do we want to just punish people? When because eventually some individuals get out, and the retribution and everything without some type of tutelage and mentoring in a positive way. What are they going to get out and do?
Exactly.
You've been locked up for 8 years.
Exactly.
You don't have any skills. You haven't been trained to do anything other than learn about other negative situations that other people have placed themselves in. What are you to do? And that was the purest form of way for jurors to be able to actually get a person like you being rebirthed. You being rebirthed into a society. And which stand are you gonna take? Are you gonna stand on righteousness or wickedness? I'm gonna give you a plan to be able to be righteous. Do you want to be exactly? Yeah. Do you want to be on the side of righteousness? And I think for the most part, most people want to. The innate nature of people, they want to be righteous, and that's why he starts in the prisons. With his programs and wanting to be able to show that he has a plan, and his plan is to be able to liberate people from the shackles of their mind and their hearts first, and then be able to show how great those people can be if they have a common goal. So he's trying to be that bridge between the people who are displaced and the people that aren't. And trying to bridge that and say, how do we come into a common ground? Where do we get to the point in which I get what I need, because this isn't just what I want for my own sanity.
What's your next plan? I mean,
I'm currently writing now the Ascension of the Unspoken.
Is that going to be the sequel to Sovereign Nation? Yeah, I definitely need the sequel because
it coming soon. The Ascension of the Unspoken.
Okay.
Yes. And that's getting more so surrounding the people that jurors have touched. These people within the circle that don't believe in him. You always have people, if you're fighting for a certain position, the loser of that position winds up having a grudge against you. So he has his adversaries in here amongst him and abroad. But he's very persistent, and he has a great set of friends that are going to be coming to his aid, ISIS and Conan and Dr. Conan and Sharif.
How long are we looking? I mean, are you given a time frame? You got coming soon.
Yeah, I'm when Talib Kweli said it'll be ready when it's ready.
When it's ready. That's positive.
Because every day, I get these ideas and I get a different thought, and it leads me to a different character. And I don't want to short the people. Even when I first began writing this book, I originally wrote it as a movie script.
I see, and it could definitely go in that direction. I could see that. I could see a movie.
Yeah, when I first wrote it, it was like, well, I want to be able to write a movie. I want to be, but writing a movie script is way less work than writing a book, because you don't have to put so much detail into it. The directors, they pretty much set the scene. The directors and producers, they set the scenes and stuff. So a lot of things just be like exterior, dark, or night, interior, bar, man walking in, but with writing, you have to make that person feel that environment.
Let them see it.
Exactly.
In their mind's eye.
Exactly.
What would be some of your advice to authors?
Really just put yourself in whatever zone that you feel comfortable in. Try to find that zone and what creates that zone. For me, it was a lot of music. I listened to Sade, King of Sorrow, probably 1,000 times and like repeat, just because that was just that calming, soothingness that I needed in order to put me in the world that I needed to be able to be in, to be able to write a chapter on this or a chapter on that, and it brings my mind to love or something like that, or missing. Even Tupac is in his word, his music in the book when they get ready to go on meet. They listen to the staring at the world through my rear view.
Right.
You know, so I wanted to put all those experiences in. You know, how music influenced me, and that's why I say this book isn't mine because Outkast I'm sitting there and I'm listening to Outkast and Goody Mob, and it's them that sparks that new chapter in me. So I might just be riding and listen to some Jay-Z or listening to some Rick Ross or something, and I just be like, you know what? I need to go and put this, you know, because every day I'm hustling. And there's somebody out there hustling right now, and I need to tell that hustling story. There's somebody that just got saved in the church, you know, that got out of that abusive relationship, and I need to tell that story. It's some kid that just graduated and has aspirations that are great, and I need to write that story. That story need to be told. So just try to focus on one kid that you know that can grow up and have such a profound change on people where that they could actually challenge the establishment that is for something that they believe is right. We've noticed a lot of change with these new elections, and I'm so proud of the president, and I'm so proud of the people that have fought for the changes that they believe in, although a lot of the changes I don't believe in, but it's the will of the people.
It's the will of the people.
We have to bend to the will of the people because the people are the government. The Constitution say we are the people.
Exactly.
You know, so we the people.